Hello, everybody. It's Joanne Musa, the Tax Lien Lady, and this is Ask the Tax Lien Lady Live. And it is about to be 2 o'clock, and that is when we start on the first and third Tuesday of the month. So, welcome, everybody. As you come on, just say hello and let me know where you're coming in from, so that I know how to answer your questions. This is your chance to get your tax lien and tax deed questions answered by me. And if I can't answer your question, I will try to find the answer for you or tell you where you can go to get the answer, okay? But it is different. Every state is different. Anybody that tells you that they are an expert on tax lien investing in every state is probably not telling you the truth because it is very different in each state. As a matter of fact, in some states, it's different in every county. Maryland tax sales are going on now, and each county in Maryland has a different interest rate. It can be anywhere from 6 to 20% per annum, per year. So, and that's just Maryland. There are some states where each city could be different. Okay, so, and not every city has a tax sale, but in New York, the counties and the cities can have their own tax sales. And most of the counties have tax deed sales, but the cities can do whatever they want. So even in a tax deed county, some cities can have tax lien sales. So it's, it can be very different in different states. So that's why when you come on, just let me know what state you're coming in from. All right, and it just became 2 o'clock. And well, actually, I think it's a minute after. We started just a little bit early today. I started a little bit early today. So I don't know if anybody's on yet, but I do expect that Nicole will be here to help me by putting in the links of the things that I suggest to you to help you out with things. So go ahead and ask me your questions when you come on. Just let me know what state you're coming in from so that I can best answer your questions. Now, while you're thinking of that, while you're thinking about what questions you want to ask on this Tax Lien Lady Live, I want to let you know that it's really important what you do after you buy a lien or deed. It's just as important to do the right things after you buy a lien or deed as it is what you do before you buy. A lot of people know, a lot of investors know that it's very important to do your due diligence and research the properties to pick the right properties to bid on. Okay, and that's true. It is important to do that. But it's also just as important what you do after you buy a tax lien or tax deed is just as important as doing your due diligence before you buy. And following the right procedures before you buy is just as important. It's just as important after you buy to do the right things because you have certain responsibilities as a tax lien or tax deed investor. And these are different in every state. In some states, you might have to record your lien or deed. In other states, you don't have to. But guess what happens if you don't record it when you're supposed to? You can lose your investment. Yes, you can. So you always want to make sure that if if it's expected of you or if it's required of the investor that you do that. And sometimes there's a fee involved. So you need to know what that is so that you know the true cost of buying a tax lien or tax deed. All right, because in some states, it's not only the recording, but in some states you have to send out noticing. And in some states you have to hire an attorney to do that. As a matter of fact, I heard from one person who did not know, this was in Indiana at the commissioner sales, and we had a done with you training while these sales were going on, but she wasn't in that training, so she didn't know that you had to hire an attorney after you purchase liens at the commissioner sale, actually at any sale in Indiana, because there's noticing that has to be done And it really has to be done right, or you can lose your investment. So it's very important to hire an attorney. Well, this one county where she bought a lot of liens in, spent all her money buying these liens because she didn't know that she had to save money to hire an attorney for each lien. Okay. Now that money's returned to you when the lien is redeemed. You don't get interest on it, but you do get the money back. But in this particular county, they wouldn't even give her the redemption until she proved that she hired an attorney to do the noticing. All right. So those are just a couple of important things that you might have to do. Some states you don't have to do any of that, but some states you do. And there are other things also. Each state has their little quirks. There are little things that you have to do. Okay. All right. So I also want to tell you I have a workshop coming up about this. I have a workshop coming up on June 26th on protecting your profit after you buy a tax lien or tax deed. So it's $149 to come to the workshop. Members get to come for free. And, it's $149 a month to be a member. And when you come to the workshop, you also get a month trial membership. So whether you become a member and you get the workshop for free, or whether you get the workshop and you get a month membership for free, it works out to the same thing, right? But if you go to my website, taxlienlady.com, there's a link in the top menu that says our next tax lien investing workshop. And if you click on that link, you'll get the information for the workshop and you can register. Okay. And it's going to be Saturday, not this Saturday, the following Saturday, June 26th from 1 to 3 p.m. And it will be recorded. So if you purchase the workshop, you also get the recording and all the materials. We'll have a workbook, we'll have a handout. I don't know exactly what other materials I might have checklists, because this is an interactive training that will be catered to the people that are in it. So we will be talking about the state-specific things that you have to do for the states that people are investing in, the people that actually attend the workshop. So I will be answering your questions of what exactly you have to do if you're in the workshop in the states that you're investing in. Okay, and this is for both new investors that haven't invested yet, because it's really good to know exactly what your costs will be after you buy a lien, so that you know your true cost of buying the lien and your true profit, how to figure out your true profit, right? And it's also for people that have already got liens, so that they make sure that they protect their profit and do the right thing. Okay. So again, you just go to my website, taxlienlady.com, and in the menu in the top, you'll find a link to our next tax lien investing workshop. And click on that link and you'll get the information and you'll be able to register from there. Okay, and we don't have any questions yet today. I'm gonna take another sip of my coffee. I don't usually drink it in the afternoon. Okay. While I'm waiting for your questions, I just want to think if there are any other announcements for this month. We have our last call for the Maryland training, the Maryland Done With You training on the Maryland tax sales. While they're going on, there are 3 tax sales that are still going on now in Maryland. One is you can't even register for yet, because that sale is not going to happen until August. Registration will probably be available in July, but there are 2 sales that are going on now that you could still register for now. And then the Maryland tax sales will be over for this year. And we'll do our next Done With You training, which I haven't decided what we'll do yet, but I will let you know what our next Done With You training will be for. There are some tax sales coming up. There are tax sales going on right now, but it's too late to start a Done With You training for them. So I'm looking to see which are the online sales that are coming up in July and August. And there are some deed sales coming up. So I think our next Done With You training might be on the online deed sales. So let me know if there's something that you would like to have one of these trainings with, and it's something that you would like to participate in. Let me know what it is, and I will consider that. I normally do a 4-module course, and we have 4 live Q&A mentoring calls that we do that go with the course. Plus, there's a lot of materials that I provide with the courses, and resources and tools. When we did the Indiana course, I had an Indiana attorney that does the noticing and foreclosures that did a couple of the mentoring calls with me. And now during the Maryland course, I have a couple of investors in Maryland that are seasoned investors in Maryland and have lived and worked in Maryland, help me to tell everybody which are the better places to invest in Maryland. And in our last call, which is tomorrow night, they will also talk about, exit strategies for when you actually get a property in Maryland. They are also buyers of these properties, and they know how to sell them, how to wholesale them, and retail them, and flip properties. They have their own strategy for selling on seller financing also. So they will be talking about that on our call tomorrow night at 7:30. If you're not in the Maryland training and you'd like to be, you could still get in on it. And I believe there's a link for that Done With You training as well if you go to the taxlienlady.com website. All right. We are let's see. We are, I've already told you about the workshop, June 26th. I haven't gotten any questions today, so I don't know how long I'm going to hang out here because I don't have any questions to answer. I also let you know about the Maryland training that's going on now, and our next Done With You training that we didn't decide what it's going to be on yet. And I think that's all the announcements I have for today. So if there are no questions, I am going to sign off, and I will be back on the, you know what? I better check my calendar because I don't know if I will be back the first Tuesday of July. Oh, yes, I will be back the first Tuesday of July, but let me check and make sure. Just give me a minute here to bring up my calendar. And the first Tuesday of July, I want to make sure that it doesn't interfere with the July 4th weekend, right? The 4th is on a Sunday, and our Ask the Tax Lien Lady Live will be on the 6th. So yes, we will do Ask the Tax Lien Lady Live the first Tuesday of July. And then I'm not sure if we're going to do it on the 3rd Tuesday of July, only because I might be traveling. So I will let you know when I see you next time on the first Tuesday of the month. So I will see you then, and happy and prosperous investing, everybody. Bye.